Sir, the screen explodes with a sickening crunch. A boy in a polished school blazer smashes against a row of battered lockers, his face twisting in agony as a thin ribbon of blood snakes down from his nose. His wide, panicked eyes lock onto a figure lurking just beyond the frame, her silhouette a dark promise against the harsh fluorescent glow. The hallway falls into a chilling silence, broken only by the faint buzz of overhead lights, until the scene shifts with dizzying speed. 3 more boys, once swaggering with menace, are sprawled on the tiled floor. Their voices roar as they plead for mercy. Above them stands Elena Vasquez, the new girl, her stance unwavering, her breath steady, her eyes blazing with a fire no one anticipated. What transpired in that single, heart-pounding minute? How did this unassuming stranger reduce her tormentors to broken pleas? This is the tale of a girl sculpted by shadows, her past a hidden blade, her spirit an unstoppable force. It was a biting November morning, the air laced with the sting of impending winter, when Elena first set foot on the weathered grounds of Westbridge High. The school pulsed with its familiar chaos, laughter ricocheting off concrete walls, the rhythmic slam of lockers, the faint tang of cafeteria grease mingling with the energy of youth. She glided through the crowd like a phantom, her dark hair yanked into a tight ponytail, her oversized hoodie swallowing her slight 16-year-old frame. To the students of Westbridge, she was a cipher, a transfer student with no backstory, her records shrouded in administrative secrecy. Whispers followed her like a shadow. She's strange, too quiet, just another outcast. But beneath her guarded exterior churned a life forged in hardship. Elena was the daughter of a Marine, trained in combat before she could read. Her father's death in a covert operation 2 years prior leaving her adrift in foster care. Westbridge was meant to be her sanctuary, a place to fade into anonymity. Instead, it became the stage for her reckoning. The storm brewed with the Kings, a trio of senior boys who dominated Westbridge with a mix of athletic arrogance and ruthless cruelty. Led by Jake Harrow, a broad, shouldered linebacker with a jawline like carved stone and a smirk that could shatter confidence, they thrived on breaking the weak. Elena, with her downcast eyes and reluctance to speak, was an easy mark. It started with jeers across the cafeteria, a casual shove in the hallway, but soon escalated. One dreary afternoon, as rain pattered against the windows, she bent to retrieve a textbook that had slipped from her locker. Jake loomed over her, his voice a taunting growl. "Where are you going?" His thick hand clamped onto her arm, his cronies snickering like jackals. The camera zooms in, her face tightens, a spark of defiance igniting in her dark eyes. She jerked free, her voice a low, dangerous whisper. "Touch me again and I'll end you." The threat drew mocking laughter from the group, but it planted a seed of doubt in the air, one they dismissed too quickly. Elena's nights were a private battlefield. In the cramped bedroom of her foster home, she moved through shadowboxing routines, her fists cutting the air with precision, her breathing a steady cadence. Her father, a decorated Marine, had instilled discipline in her young soul, teaching her to fight with the grace of a soldier. After his death, she'd been shuttled through a series of foster homes, her skills dulled by grief but never erased. Each punch was a memory of his gravelly voice reciting combat drills, of a rare laugh shared over a campfire, of the night a stone-faced officer delivered the news that broke her world. At Westbridge she'd hoped to bury that past, to blend into the crowd. But the King's aggression stirred it awake. Doubt gnawed at her. Was she still the fighter her father had molded? Could she stand against these predators alone? The tension snapped on a rain-soaked Thursday, the hallways slick with muddy footprints as students darted between classes. Jake, fueled by his crew's encouragement, decided to crush her spirit. As she walked alone, a book slipping from her grasp, he grabbed her from behind, his arm locking around her throat like a vise. The inset image lingers on her face, her cheeks flush with rage, her body coiling like a spring. The crowd froze, some gasping, others fumbling for their phones to capture the drama. Then, in a blur of motion, Elena acted. She drove her elbow into Jake's ribs, the crack echoing through the hall, and spun to deliver a sharp kick to his knee. He crumpled, a howl tearing from his throat as she advanced, her fists raised with the discipline of a trained warrior. His friends lunged, But she was a storm, dodging a clumsy punch, using one boy's momentum to slam him into the lockers, then dropping the last with a precise jab to the jaw. Within a minute, all three were down, their arrogance shattered, their pleas reverberating off the metal walls as she stood tall, her chest rising and falling, her gaze unbowed. To Jar, the aftermath was a tidal wave. Video of the fight flooded social media, Elena's name a whispered legend by nightfall. Teachers rushed in, pulling her from the scene, but the damage was done. The king's reign was over. In the principal's office, her hands trembled, not from fear but from the rush of memories her actions unleashed. Her father's lessons had saved her, but they also dragged her back to that hollow night of loss. The twist came with a sharp knock at the door. A man in a dark suit stepped in, his presence commanding yet measured. He was a recruiter from a private security firm, drawn by the viral footage. He recognized her technique, military grade, honed by someone with elite experience. Her past, once a weight, was now her power, a gateway to a future she hadn't dared dream of. In the days that followed, Westbridge transformed. The kings disbanded, their dominance toppled by the girl they'd underestimated. Elena, once a ghost, became a symbol. Students who'd cowered now stood straighter, inspired by her stand. She accepted the recruiter's offer, her path shifting from survival to purpose. The final scene unfolds with her walking out of the school, rain streaking her face, her head held high as the camera pans to a turbulent sky, a new dawn breaking over the horizon. Her outro. What did you think of Elena's incredible stand? Have you ever faced a bully and found strength you didn't know you had? Drop your stories in the comments. We're all ears! If this tale of justice and redemption got your heart racing, smash that like button, share it with your friends, and subscribe for more cinematic stories. Hit the bell icon so you never miss a hero's rise. See you in the next video!